Hello everybody, this is Mateo, and I am finally back after sickness, again. Oh boy. And here we have this boss right here at the very end of Stonehenge. He is another Starman, and we've had a ton of practice fighting those guys after our grinding, or rather farming, in attempts to get the Sword of Kings. So we should be extremely prepared for this one. This is the Starman Deluxe. And he's all spiky and stuff, because as you all know, spikes means it's much more powerful. Also, did I just attempt to use Freeze Alpha? We're going to need something a heck of a lot more powerful than that. You can go ahead and use a big bottle rocket on this guy, or the heavy bazooka, whichever you wish. Big bottle rocket would probably be fine, use no more than 2, probably. Although they are incredibly cheap and you have a ton of money. So that's not good. Yeah, keep in mind that he has Psychic Power Shield. Wow. That went from really, really bad to really, really good. I'm not even... Did I use a multi-bottle rocket, or was that a big bottle rocket? I feel like that was a multi. Well then, there you go. Just a single multi-bottle rocket. Maybe... maybe a big bottle rocket from Jeff, although I'm incredibly sure it's a multi. And you take this guy down. But otherwise, he has the same attacks as the other Starmen, just more powerful, and he can also call Starman Supers into the battle, which in turn can also call in regular Starmen. So the battle can get kind of really cluttered after a while with a ton of enemies if you let it. So you're really gonna want to be careful with that. But after... That guy is usually kind of hard, but just make sure you're packing a multi-bottle rocket, I guess. And all the people magically got out of their tubes, whatever. When we beat him, I guess they just magically found the way out. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, Apple Kid told us that the Overcoming Shyness book was being attacked by a giant bear. Oh god, I forgot to cut this out. Oh great, you get to see me bash and shoot stuff. Jump and shoot man. Actually, bash and shoot men and woman. But alas. Well, Apple Kid told us that the book is currently in the Onet library. So we're actually going back to Onet after all of this time. After we left it at like part 2 or part 3. And now we're finally coming back 27-ish parts later, so... Quite a bit of time has passed. We have definitely grown quite a bit ever since we first left the area. And we will also get to show off our hometown to everybody else in our party. Nobody else has been there. So that's pretty neat. Although we really aren't going to show off very much of anything. We're just going to go straight to the library and come back. And look, that butterfly's in an area that I will never be able to go to because that's just cut off from everywhere. So, that butterfly was safe. Lucky it. And let's derpily teleport. There we go, I got something going now. Don't run into that wall. There we go. Okay. That went moderately well. And don't get hit by a taxi. It's always kind of funny when you appear, like, right in front of a car of some sort. And it just stops. Like, I just imagine the driver would be like, oh my god, sudden kids! And he, like, hits the brakes. Trying not to hit you guys. Yeah, I mean, teleportation can be kind of dangerous, because you could teleport right in the path of a speeding vehicle. Okay, so there are no books here. Oh, giant step. We've been there for a while, and I can indeed tell you it does have magical potential. But I already took that. He tells us about the magical butterfly. God, this is all tutorial stuff that I probably should have read at the beginning of the game, and... Oh. Okay, that was kind of weird. Yeah, I noticed you running in here. Is there anybody... No. Oh, she's thinking. Sure. Okay, well, maybe the book is somewhere on the first floor. Well, we do indeed have bookshelves, so that's a good sign. Other than overcoming shyness. I like how they just point that out. Okay, could I look at the bookshelf? Thank you. And this bookshelf? Can we, can I please look at the bookshelf? I'm just gonna hope that the book isn't on that bookshelf, because I can't seem to look at it without instead talking to her. Okay, no. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So there's the Overcoming Shyness book. So really, we could have just come here and grabbed it, and not save Apple Kid or anybody in Stonehenge at all. Just completely skip that place. Although I'm pretty sure you need to complete Stonehenge, and that will trigger the ability to find the book in that bookshelf. Otherwise, it'll just say like there are books on the bookshelf or something like that. So let's go ahead teleport back to the deep darkness. If I would go to my menu. There we go. Actually, I think there's one that goes straight to the Tenda village. Yep, indeed. So we don't have to go through that dungeon again, which is good. Because, I mean, meh. It's an alright dungeon, I like it, but it's just, I don't want to go through a dungeon twice, because that takes a while, you know. So, Tendas, we have your Overcoming Shyness book. Now you can become unshy. Man, we're just helping everybody in this part. I mean, everybody that was stuck in the tubes, the Tenda tribe. Well, we probably didn't help that guy in the taxi. Probably gave him a heart attack, if anything. So, we didn't help him. But, oh well. Okay, so he reads the book to everybody, and now, Tenda Kraut. Okay, sure. Yay. And it will never be returned to the library. Seriously though, I feel if one of these guys went to the library to go return it, everybody would be like, oh my god, what's that thing? And then they'd become shy again because they'd think that they were ugly or something like that, when really the people's reactions would probably be for the fact that they've never seen anything like these guys before. Anyways, once we give him the, when we give him the book, we take another picture and everybody else is just kinda stuck behind me. If anything, it looks like Ness has some blonde hair, like, at the bottom. But that's about it. And again, they ask you if this is in fact your name, and I'm pretty sure I still spelled it right. And then they ask you again, and again. There you go, at least you don't have to, like, enter it in again. Although I'm pretty sure that's just as a, like, just in case you didn't enter it in the first time. Although I'm pretty sure you have to enter it in the first time. I've never not done it. So I don't know. And here we have yet another coffee break. I'm not entirely sure if it's coffee this time around. It might be, like, tea. Oh well. Either way, we have another really weird, trippy, word section where they basically summarize the entire story ever so far. These sections just have some kind of funky music, and they have the backgrounds that you see, like, in the battle. Not quite, you don't see this background in a battle, I don't think. But still, it's that type of idea behind it, so it's just kind of a weird little thing that I like to show off and read through. Because, I mean, somebody did put in all the time to write this all out. Now, granted, you can make the same argument for me to talk to all of the NPCs, but that's a bit too much. They don't have unique music and whatnot. So, oh well. You don't have to do this, by the way. It takes like 3 to 4 minutes. Tops, I really don't know. But it just gives you just a little bit of insight on Gygus, how he's the archfiend of the universe, so apparently Earth isn't the only thing that hates him or he hates. Apparently he, like, is against the entire universe, so he's even more powerful than what we originally imagined. Originally, we just kind of thought that he was just a random guy or creature of some sort, that happened to be invading our planet, but no, apparently he's taken over, or just basically he's against the entire universe, not just Earth, God. And it is T, okay. And, oh yeah, it raises the question of Pokey. We haven't thought about him in a while, ever since we saw his helicopter in Deep Darkness, and that was only briefly. Ever since then, he disappeared. Although Pokey does have a habit of disappearing for a short while and then reappearing. So, I don't know, maybe we'll meet up with him again, and we'll find out more about what he's been up to, hopefully. And then Pooh's name is also added to the little chant of names, so that's also nice. Okay, well, maybe next time my tea will not have any magic cake or something strange like that in it, and we could just drink tea. Well, that's a little interesting thing, yeah, it took like 2-3 minutes. Bleh, excuse me, so there you go. And now that all these people aren't shy, you could buy things, although, there's this one guy who, like, trades you horns of life for items, or rather, horn of lives for items. Well, there's this item called the Horn of Life. He requires many of them, and you can get good things based on how many you give to him. So it was actually that guy on the top left, I do believe, and I think you can buy the Horn of Life from the Mr. Saturn. One of them will sell them to you for a certain amount of money, probably not that much, and you can just go from there. And trade them all in, get some good stuff. I believe that the two good items, there's one kind of talisman, I believe, one type of equipment of some sort, I really don't know. And then there's also a bag of Dragonite, which you can use to do about 500 damage. Any character can use it, it's pretty good. But you still want to save those for a certain point, and I'll go over that later. Anyways, we have ourselves a new dungeon. This is the 7th Year Sanctuary location. Kind of just stuck in the middle there. So, whatever. It seems like they were kind of running out of, like, ideas for your sanctuary locations. I mean, these fobby enemies are pretty much, I think, the only thing that you can find in this place. So, there you go. So, they just kind of stuck this in here because they had nothing else, I believe. And also, it's really close to the 8th one. Just like the 5th one was really close to the 6th one. Okay, that wasn't the only enemy in here. We have some other things, but still, it's just a bunch of recolors and whatnot, and it just seems to be just randomly added in a way, I don't know. But it's still, and it's just kind of bland as well, it's just a cave. Although then again, all of them were caves except for the 3rd one, and the 4th one. What was the 5th one again? The sewer was the 4th one. I think the 5th one, yeah, no. Well, shoot. Well, the 3rd one and whichever one was a sewer. Those two were different. So I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Either way, we have the conducting spirits. They can use flash and thunder. If you have the Franklin badge, thunder is blocked from that character, so that's very nice. I believe that when the smiling sphere is killed, it explodes. I'm not really sure. Probably showed that in the battle, whether it did or didn't. Otherwise, it doesn't do a whole lot. I really can't think of anything. And that's about it for these guys. Also, throughout this dungeon, you will find these rock guys. And they just talk to you for whatever random reason. One of the Tend to Try members actually mentioned that, so kinda neat. Over there, we got a super bomb, which I think is more powerful than the heavy bazooka, but it's only one-time use. And, well, that's pretty much it. It's only one-time use compared to the heavy bazooka, which is infinite use. So, just use it if you have really powerful enemies. This is a ton of fobbies. By the way, I never mentioned the fobby enemies. They give a ton of experience, and they're incredibly easy to kill. So, if you want to level grind, the top floor of this cave is the place to do it, because these fobbies are the only guys that you find here in this top floor, and you do a ton of... it's just really easy to kill them. So there you go, and especially when you kill the boss here and all the enemies are running away from you, you get automatic green screens against them, you'll just be raking in the experience. However, if you did get the Sword of Kings, like, grind for that, you're pretty much set to go. As long as you fight all the enemies that you encounter, like you run into throughout the dungeons, like I am, like I do usually, you really should be fine for the rest of the game, even if it is your first playthrough. Oh, there we go, I was just about to mention that. There is another piece of equipment for Pooh located in this dungeon, and it is right here. It's the Diadem of Kings, which I'm pretty sure is for his... no, it's not. It's his other, I believe. Yeah, his other. So he gets another 20 boost there. We only need one more piece of equipment left. And look at that smiling sphere proving me wrong on the fact that you can only find fobbies on the top floor. So, let me restate that. 99% of the time you can find fobbies. Also, Jeff is dead. How did Jeff die? I feel like Flash might have insta-killed him or something, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's possible. Either way, he's dead, but we healed him up with PSI. And this cave is also really short. That's another thing. Like, compared to some of the others, I just feel like it was really... what am I doing? Well, it was really short compared to some of the others. And, well, I'm making it long because I keep on falling down this hole, thinking that I hadn't been down there before. But still, we're nearly out of here. There are only 2 floors to it, and you don't even have to go down to the second, or the B1F, I guess. Or B2F, because we're technically lower. Well, the lower floor, you really don't have to go down it, I believe. You can just take this path right here, out of here. Or rather, to the boss. Pretty sure. Well, here's an item right here, and... Well, there's a definite straight path that you have to take, and then there's a couple of branching paths that have items like the Diadem of Kings that you'd probably want. But otherwise, it is just a really simple dungeon. But these talking rock guys are kind of interesting, so that's a plus at least. And they just kind of say funny things, like there was that one that said, somewhere around here there is a talking rock that knows more than me, so find him if you actually want information. That's essentially what he said, at least. So, there you go. We have a little item over here, but it's at... Oh, it's a rock candy. Dungeon Man lied. That was not very out of the way at all. And yet that was very much so worth it. Now, who do I give it to? Let's give it to Paula because she has the lowest amount of health. And just really stats in general. And she could always use more magic power as well. So that would be even more powerful. Yeah. Okay, there's an item over here. We get a bottle of DX water, which heals quite a bit of PP, especially when used on poo, I'm pretty sure. Could we please get out of here now? Like, I'm running out of things to talk about. We're in the last, like, 2 minutes. So many fobbies. Oh my god. Okay, well, we're nearing the end here, I'm pretty sure. So let's just go ahead and kill these guys. There's those 2 fobbies. Let's just go kill them. I saw the sparkly in the distance, which means we have a boss. Or we finally found him. So do I fight him in this video, or... looking less and less like it. Oh, whoops. I accidentally forgot to cut out the end of this battle. For whatever reason, my recorder, splits the recordings into 3-minute segments. And that battle probably was in the middle of 2 recordings, and I forgot to go through and delete the other half of the battle, which is where the next 3 minutes started. Oh well. There we got a rabbit's foot, which I believe increases luck, because, you know, it's a rabbit's foot. And it also does that, increases speed, so that's actually pretty good. But I don't know what it's really equipped for, and I've never used it, so I honestly wouldn't really use it, I think. I think it goes on... Oh, it's a body thing. Yeah, less defense, not really worth it. I'm just gonna skip out on that. Could probably give it to Pooh to increase his defense, but that might lower his defense. Either way, in the next part, we will take on the boss. See you all then. Bad cliffhanger. Goodbye.